So we move on to the January 25th show, and it is Osker Leube taking on Aaron Henare. Again, there's a bunch of these. I don't take a lot of notes for. Again, it's house show tour. So like Henare faking the stomp and then kicking him in the back and hitting the senton early on was great. And then one thing I'll say for Leube, the size is amazing. He's got size, like it's that.
Yes.
But when he wants to flop around and sell, that's going to be this man's, like, what makes this man a star is the fact as a giant man, he is going to be able to sell for people. Most big men don't sell super well. He will, because I can see it in him already. The way he was selling like the stomps, the Boston Crab, everything in this. He will, like, I'm not saying it's Shawn Michaels level selling, but for a big man, he's probably going to be the big man Shawn Michaels level seller. He's probably going to be that guy for big men because you don't see guys his size sell that well. Yeah.
Hopefully he can work with Fale a little bit, help him out with that. Also, Fale is also very, very good at that.
Oh, very much so. But yeah, there was a beautiful pop up into a knee strike by Henare. So good. But at the end, the roundhouse heel kick to the jaw of Leube gets Henare the win. The Young Lions literally dragged, like they had him over his shoulder, and his legs were just like they were literally
dragging. He was
they
floating.
literally drag carried him out of the arena. Yeah.
And how much does that showcase just the strength and power of Aaron Henare as the I always forget what his nickname is in the United Empire.
No, Ultimate Weapon. No.
Yeah, that would make sense.
His finisher's Ultima. So he's the Ultimate Weapon.
The Ultimate Weapon. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see maybe the Walking Weapon and the Ultimate Weapon kind of, go head to head one day, see who the big weapon is.
That'd be pretty. We are going to get to see. We are going to see Josh Alexander on the Battle in the Valley show. He's in an 8-man tag, so that was announced a couple days ago. So we're going to get to see that. I'm absolutely excited for that show. We will be covering it on here, so do not worry, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. But we move on to the second match of the 25th show, and his Bebop tag team Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano versus Bullet Club's Gedo and Kenta. I love Kenta stalling. Like, he does it in such a way where you just get angry at the guy, but in the right way. You get annoyed with him. But I gotta say, Gato's shirt looked terrible with the neck all giant stretched out. I was like, ugh. Like, it just bothered me.
I don't know.
It just bothered me. I don't know what it was. It just bothered the hell out of me, man. But yeah, there was a spot where Yano goes to the corner pad, but Gedo pulls him off the corner from stopping from doing it. But then he gets Gedo off, and he goes back to the corner to take the corner pad off. And then Kenta just runs up and starts yelling at him when he's on the apron, and Yano just stops. It was a weird way to deter Yano from doing his thing, but it was absolutely phenomenal. And then Yano
who knows what he said, because we don't speak Japanese, but maybe he said something pretty lewd to him that made him really like.
Yeah, but Yano did eventually get the corner pad off, and this is where I think it was Kenta or was it Gedo? Oh yeah, Gedo starts stomping on the turnbuckle pad, and Yano covers it up and takes a couple of stomps from Gedo, trying to protect his turnbuckle pad. Absolutely,
I can't remember what his name was.
I don't, but absolute beautiful comedy. Like, and this is where that stuff belongs in a second match of the evening tag. Like, when it comes to G1s and tournaments, that's not where it belongs. But when it comes to something like this, this is absolutely where stuff like this belongs, and I absolutely love stuff like that. Yeah. So at the end of the match, Gedo is stopped from using the brass knuckles. Kenta brings in a chair, but Tanahashi actually dropped Tohold's Kenta, and he goes face first into the chair. And then Yano hits the low blow on Gedo and rolls him up. And yeah, great. I thought a great, fun match overall. And then Kenta attacks Tanahashi and Yano after the match, and then starts attacking Tanahashi with the bell hammer again.
This was fun, and I agree. It was exactly where it needed to be on the card. It was the right amount of comedy with the right amount of seriousness to set up for the Tanahashi Kenta showdown. I didn't notice Kenta's shirt, or sorry, Gato's shirt, but now I'm gonna have to go back
It
and
was just that it was just like, you see my neck on my shirt. It was
yeah.
probably It was like out here, like
Oh,
it was like down here. It was like,
it's
it
like he
just looked like
reused one that someone like.
like somebody like stretched the living hell out of the neck.
I wonder if maybe it was an older shirt and he had like actually gotten like grabbed by the cuff and like put up
That,
against
I'm pretty sure
something.
that's what it
Hmm,
was, but it annoyed me.
interesting. I'll have to go back and watch that because I want to see that now.
Yeah. Let me move on to the next match of the evening. It is the team of Master Wato and Togi Makabe taking on the Bullet Club's cutest tag team, Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori. That is their words, not mine. I'm just reading what
Our
they were
good
listed
friend the foe has the shirt.
as. Wato, at the start of this match, the fire he showed at the start, like, man, this
Hmm.
guy, like, I will say this. I think it's time that Wato gets a run with the title. I think he needs. My personal opinion, I want to see him win Best of the Super Juniors and challenge and win that title this summer. I really want that because I think, like, I was not a proponent of Master Wato for the longest time, but these last like 6 months,
Hmm.
like really since coming out of last year's Best of the Super Junior, maybe it's like 9 months. I think this guy has really come into his own. Like, he's
Hmm.
dropped the Grand Master part and like that stuff, and he's just Master Wato. I think he
Hmm.
needs to go back to being Kirai Hawato, or was it Kirai
Wato, yeah.
Hawato? Yeah, I think he needs to go back to
Wato, yeah.
that. But again,
Hmm.
that's just a personal feeling. This is actually where I was thinking about the back rakes. Dude, they're absolutely ridiculous. And then the double team one where Taiji Ishimori is up on the second rope and comes off and goes and then comes down the back with it while Phantasmo's holding the opponent.
Hmm.
Jesus, it's just so over the top. But again, they're using it in a spot, third match of the evening, and it's over the top and ridiculous. But it's in a third match of the card. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be a super serious. It's not. This isn't a big serious program. This is,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. So yeah, Makabe just ragdolling these guys when he's carrying them around because the rest of them are all like technically ELP's heavyweight now, but he's like just on the
Hmm.
heavyweight, like, you know what I mean? He's just
Yeah.
ragdolling these guys, man, just crazy. And then Phantasmo with a beautiful lion salt to Makabe there. But Makabe goes to the King Kong knee drop at the end. ELP rolls away, just rolls away. So Makabe comes down, comes over to pick him up, and this is where ELP hits the sudden death super kick and
Hmm.
gets the.
And again, that sudden death being a real big thing for ELP now.
Mhm.
Do we see that maybe being a thing going forward for him in his next big match there? I'm thinking so. It's nice to see Wato again, as you mentioned. I think it was the last video you were actually like Gedo fix it with
Yeah,
with Wato.
I want Gedo to just make him Hirooki Wato again. Like,
Hmm.
I think the master part, the grandmaster part, he's divorced himself from it a good bit, but I think he needs to make a clean break from it to truly be for some people to truly think I'm ready to take this guy seriously, even with the Master Wato name. I just prefer if he was Hirooki Wato. But yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, and as I was saying, the evolution that he has done, that you mentioned over the last couple months has been tremendous. I'm very happy to see that he's no longer doing that nasty blue hair. That was
mm,
clearly too much work to keep up with. I'm very, well, so happy that he's moved away from the blue and pink bottoms and styling. He's definitely, I want to say, matured. I feel like matured might be the right word for him. Um, do I think that he should have a run right now with the title? Not quite. Do I think that he could if he won and was in the finals of the Super Juniors? Absolutely, because that's a few more months for him to
mm,
really polish things up. He's getting into phenomenal shape, working out with Tanahashi all the time. So I'd say by the time the Super Juniors are going on, he's going to be ready for that. I think
yeah,
so.
and I think that's the project they're building. He's building Master
Mhm.
Wato to win that Best of Super Juniors and take the title from Hiromu. I think that's what they're building. I
Mhm.
truly think that's what they're building, and I think that's a great thing.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So that being said, we know who you think is going to retain over Yo and Hiromu.
Yeah, I want Yo to win, but I see if I see Hiromu retaining. It's his first defense, so I don't see
Hmm.
him dropping. I want Yo to win, but again, it's a personal feeling. We move on to the next match of the evening, and it is pretty much almost the same match from the night before. Sorry to say, Chaos
Hmm.
is Hirooki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshi-Hashi, and Yuto Nakashima taking on TMDK. The big thing here was again Nakashima and Fujita really
Hmm.
fighting at each other, and a lot of that. But again, very similar match in the in a lot of it throughout the other
Hmm.
throughout 7 people that were in it yesterday. A lot of good stuff from Nakashima too, but
Hmm.
again, very similar, not the same, but similar. Again, it's a
Hmm.
house show tour.
But they were teaching Fujita a different move
Yeah,
today, or
it was.
for this one.
They were calling it double wrist lock, also known as the Kimura,
Hmm. Hmm.
or the key lock.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did very much like that. And again,
Hmm.
they're reteaching him, and then again, was it Nicholas came in and just said, "Ah, screw it," and just
Yes.
didn't do it. Just said, "I'm not doing that." I
That's
liked
not a
it.
style.
Yeah,
Not a
I
style.
love that Hayes said no to the heel hook the day before, and it's Nicholas saying nah today. I really do like that. I
Hmm.
will gotta give props to Go to that wheel kick into the corner, and followed by the bulldog. Dude, it
Hmm.
looks so good.
Oh, Goto. It's
Yeah.
Goto.
Uh, Fujita getting a beautiful belly to belly suplex on Nakashima for 2,
Mm.
absolutely phenomenal. But the ending was what surprised me more than anything was Fujita and Saber both locking Kimuras on both Ishii and Nakashima, and the two legal men are Fujita and Nakashima taps to Fujita. That's very like I understand Young Lions being on winning teams, but it's very rare that Young Lions get the win even over another Young Lion unless it's in a
Mhm.
singles match or in a pure Young Lion match, and sometimes those just go to draws.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it was very surprising to see that, and then there's a big old brawl at the end, like
Mhm.
just
Yeah, when they're
crazy.
setting up the picture.
Yeah, and then Saber working over Ishii's arm in there,
Mhm.
and then was it Haste choking Yoshi-Hashi with Yoshi-Hashi's title belt?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they ended up was a T Ishii chases TMDK up the
Yes.
entranceway and like fights into the back
Yeah.
of them, and then you have the rest of Chaos just chasing them into the back.
And it continued. It continued, as Kevin and Chris let us know on commentary. They were still fighting in the back into the next
Hmm.
match. And I don't know if you also caught on commentary at the beginning there when Chris and Kevin were mentioning Nakashima and Fujita. Apparently, yeah, Fujita's still a part of the Young Lion kind of thing. And the story they're working on right now is because he has joined TMDK, he's shirking on his duties at the dojo. So he's not doing the things that he's respectfully supposed to when going through the dojo system, which is causing this animosity between Fujita and Leube, Nakashima, and
Mm.
Oiwa. Um, it's very interesting, as you mentioned, that Fujita was able to get that submission over Nakashima, but how much does that speak to maybe the teachings of the submission magician there, Mr. Zack Sabre Jr.?
Hmm.
He's only had Fujita for how long? What, 3 weeks?
Yeah, and he's turning him into quite the little technical wrestler.
A little Japanese version of himself. I mean, how incredible is that?
Hmm. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Mhm, mhm.